Welcome back. It's time to turn on dark mode. We're here to talk about working in IT, video games, tech, and everything outside the 9 to 5. I'm one of your hosts, Keegan Lassard.
Oh, we got a little hiccup there. I'll
There's a
keep it
little
on.
hesitation there.
Not bad. And I'm Taylor Floyd Muse. What's
Haven't had
up?
to do like an outro or an outtake for that in a long time, thankfully.
You've been pretty smooth. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. When Gibbs has been doing editing, he's been like, you notice how like Keegan stopped screwing up? Like,
Thanks,
and I'm
Gibbs.
like, nah, you jinxed it.
Why
You
does he have
you
to why does he have
a
to
little.
frame it like a backhanded compliment? Have you noticed he hasn't been fucking up lately?
Well, because like you actively screw up a lot.
I
Or
know,
you
but
had.
that's not the proper way to compliment somebody. Like, hey, you've been doing really well lately. That's normal. Not, hey, you haven't fucked up in a while. Like, congrats.
I mean, I don't know. You know, Gibbs got a little bit of sass to him, but
That's
I
true.
think he
That's true.
watched the previous episodes before he came in to kind of get in the mindset, and he was like, "Dang, Keegan was kind of like, oh no."
No, Keegan sucks.
Gibbs, you're fired.
No,
No, I'm kidding.
he's still not gonna get paid.
He's walking out. Oh no, Gibbs, come back, please.
Nah, he's fine. He's fine. Go eat your pizza.
Pizza? Wait, we got pizza?
Dude, that's what we pay him with.
Oh,
We just feed him after the show.
yeah, but like, I want pizza. I didn't know he had it right now. I thought he usually gets
Oh,
it after the show. Like he's eating pizza right now.
yeah. I bought. Yeah, you can go. I mean, we'll be right back as Taylor go get some pizza.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's some good pizza right there.
All right, we're
back.
good.
Yeah. How are you dealing with this like freezing weather that we got right now?
Dude, I'm all about it. As soon as it dips below 70, I am here for it. Fall is here, and I can't be happier. This
But
whole
it
week, it's been
came too
55 in
quick
KC.
though.
It slapped.
Didn't you just have like 90-degree weather like a
95.
week ago? Yeah, that's too quick. You can't just cut the temperature in half like that.
You
Like
can, and I'm for it.
I don't think your head's for it though. You've been complaining about migraines.
Dude, okay, so let's just dive into what's been grinding my gears lately. I have been feeling like crap all week. Because
But
like
you
you
love
said,
it though.
because you said it went from 95 to like 50 in a night. So yeah, my head has been killing me. Also, every morning I wake up and I think I'm like getting sick. So it doesn't really help this week.
You got the Rones?
Oh no.
You
See, that's
can't
another
just say
thing.
that nowadays, dude. You can't just say, I think I'm sick. You got to be like, I think I have the common cold.
But
So you could specify.
that's the hard part about like living in this era is like we're about to get into like the cold and like flu season,
Uh-huh.
and it's kind of terrifying.
Uh-huh.
Waking up and you're like, oh man, I'm not. Oh shit, and then you're like, you think about it for a second, and then you go take your temperature every 4 hours and freak out. But so I'm all for fall weather being here because I can wear my layers. I'm wearing my infamous hat. Got my
Yeah,
sweaters
the
on.
Carhartt hat.
We're
It's
not
back,
sponsored
baby.
yet.
It's back, baby.
I'll put it forwards when you guys sponsor this show.
I'm pretty sure you had it forwards in previous episodes.
For sure. But yeah, so I like the weather, don't like the migraines. It's gonna get like back to 70s, but this isn't a weather podcast, so we'll move on to what else has been pissing me off. NFL's back. So fall weather's here, football season's here as well.
Oh, I didn't expect you to be like, what pisses me off? NFL's back. Normally you like, NFL's back, baby. Chiefs, let's get it.
Yeah, and I'm not a Chiefs fan, first of all. Seahawks
Well,
fan.
like you
They're my AFC team, I guess.
yeah. So I mean, like,
So
you gotta support the local.
they played. I mean, we're recording on a Friday. They played last night, Thursday Night Football, and it was great to have NFL back. It looks like they're handling it well. The way that the league is handling social justice, all supportive of it. The only problem I had is the commentators. Mahomes just signed a huge deal with the Chiefs, right? That was like all the talk during the offseason. He's one of the highest paid athletes ever. And we get it. Like, that's been heavily covered. All throughout the game, nonstop, the commentators are like, that's one wealthy man right there. All those
Oh
wealthy guys
my
down, like
goodness.
they would not stop calling them really rich people. That was a common comment. Like when he was like sitting on the bench and like Deshaun Watson, on the other quarterback on the team who had another big resign, sat next to him. He's like, "Oh, there's those two really wealthy men right there." I'm like, that's not the
That's such
comment
an
to
awkward
make.
comment.
It's so odd.
Yeah.
And like we all know how wealthy all the NFL players are. It doesn't mean we have to commentate on it every other play. Normally I could care less what they're saying on the commentator side, but for whatever reason, it was bugging the shit out of me.
Oh, speaking of bugs, I heard I heard you were having some issues after you signed off and played some more Madden, huh?
Yeah, I need to correct a lot of the statements. I listened back to my last week and I
I knew that was like, hold on. Before you dive into it, I knew that was gonna happen, but you did word it like in a way you're like, oh, when I signed on at 11 that night, I didn't experience bugs. But I'm like, you just set yourself up for failure
right.
because like you're gonna see them.
Yeah,
So
that's for sure. And I definitely saw a lot of the bugs that people were facing, got a lot of the frustration that a lot of people were facing, and it is kind of a trash game right now. But they did update it recently this week, and it corrected it a bit. It's still pretty buggy, and it's still lackluster. My comments still say
yeah,
the
you're
same.
I bet the comments haven't changed, but like they're working towards it.
Yeah, and I definitely experienced a lot of the bugs, like a lot of them. So,
It's
so
only
I
fair.
definitely need to correct myself from last week on that statement.
Yeah, speaking of correcting yourself, I got to correct myself because I actually misspoke last week in the fact that the Nvidia GPUs, the 3080, I said it was $800. It's actually 700. So
Oh shit, you're gonna buy
even
next.
better of a deal. So like I'm surprised. Like I don't know why I thought it was 800. I just misremembered. But then like when I saw it was like, oh, it's only 700. I got even more excited because I'm like, oh, that saves me $100.
Yeah, and you were for sure getting the 3080. Yeah, that's what you're.
Yeah,
That's yeah,
that
yeah.
I'm just gonna get that one because like when I was thinking about the next generation, I expected a price around that, and then they were like, "Oh, there's gonna be like ones over 1,000," and I'm like, "Well, I'll still get the one that's that price range." And then they
Right.
just went and they like put such a good deal into that, and I was like, "Oh, like I'm definitely sticking with it." So
That. Yeah, and I mean, do you worry about like it getting sold out immediately? Are you gonna like
yes,
try? Okay.
100%. Because like they haven't said like there's gonna be like a pre-order date. I'm
Uh
pretty
huh.
sure it's just go live on September 17th, but we'll have
So
to
you're
see.
gonna be up at like midnight or like
Yeah,
11.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna I'm gonna have to have the tabs open. I'm gonna have to be like click, 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 and it's also on Best Buy. Like Best Buy came out and said like it will go on sale on the 17th, and I already have all of my information saved in Best Buy. Whereas like I don't really know what an Nvidia launch looks like because I know you can buy them from their site, but I'm pretty sure like most of their purchases are through retailers. Or it might actually just link you to the retailers. But
I
right
don't
now
know.
on their site, it just shows a notify me. So I signed up for that. But most likely I'm just gonna go straight to Best Buy, click through that super fast, and hope to
I'm
get it.
sure like each retail has like a set amount they're gonna be allotted. So
Yeah.
I'm sure it works the same. And are you gonna like get any bots? Do you think? Or are you gonna like?
Dude, I'm thinking about it, but like I've never used one before, so I had to do some research. I'm not gonna pay extra for it. Like, you know how
Right.
some people would pay like, oh, I'll toss an extra $50. Like, I'll just wait for restock if that's the
Okay.
case. But like, I will have like, multiple instances of stuff open trying to get it that way. But
Right.
we'll have to see. But one thing I forgot to mention also last week is that the bundle game that comes with it isn't that great this time. It's Watch Dogs Legion, and we just
Biggest
badmouthed it.
it's such an L. Like they missed such a golden opportunity if they would have just waited to release it with Cyberpunk. Like,
Well, like, they don't even have to wait to release because it comes out a month after the game, I'm pretty sure, or even, like, a
oh,
couple days. So, like and also when I bought my AMD processor, it gave me a game that wasn't out yet. So it wasn't a matter of them needing to wait, but also, I don't believe they would have done it with Cyberpunk just because of how high caliber that game is and the fact that, like, everybody's already gonna buy it. But I guess I was hoping for something different than Watch Dogs Legion. But for
I don't know what
free,
else you would want because you got Assassin's Creed already for free.
Yeah, but like I don't know. Like they gave me Destiny 2 when I bought my 1080, but the Destiny isn't a full game coming out. It's a DLC, so I guess they wouldn't bundle that. But
Right.
yeah, maybe Call of Duty. I would have been really excited
Oh,
if it
I
was
guess
that,
Black Ops is coming out with
but I don't
that
think they
time
would have
frame.
done that either. But with Watch Dogs Legion being free, I'll give it a try. I don't anticipate I'm gonna think it's amazing. I'm just gonna like play it for the funniness because it looks
Okay,
like super goofy.
good,
So
good,
we'll
because
see.
it's gonna be trash.
Yeah. I mean, like, no hesitation there. I agree.
Okay, cool. I can't wait to roast it with you. Um,
Fair.
you know, speaking of roasting, I we're talking about news and stuff, and there's definitely something that's crept into my scope. And anytime Ninja comes into news, I usually like to roast him. And what does he do this week other than gets back onto Twitch and signs an exclusivity deal with Twitch?
He's back with his ex after cheating on her.
That it's literally he goes out there and cheats on Twitch. Twitch is broken, right? Just over in the corner. And then Ninja's like, hey, I'll take you back if you want. Like, he's just that cocky dude. He's like, hey, I mean, I guess I can come back. And then they're like, okay, well, you just, we have to pay you now, though. Like, it's so stupid.
They don't. Like, I don't understand what is with Twitch. Like, they're just throwing money around. Like, I feel like that money could go to so many better places
It's just,
than at their streamers.
are they just worried that people are all going to go to YouTube? Because, like, I think Ninja needs Twitch more than Twitch needs Ninja at this point.
Yeah,
Like, did Twitch really lose that many? I guess here's another thing: is the whole until we get clarity on Doctor Disrespect, I just their whole corporation. I don't understand their logic on
exactly.
anything.
Exactly. Like, they're really kind of like their PR right now is not ideal. And also, like, I like you were gonna say, I don't know how like many viewers they lost. I don't think it was very many because what I noticed today was what now that Ninja is back on, a lot of people are like he's got a lot of viewers, right? But I noticed that other streamers that used to be top now have less. So like I'm pretty sure people just shifted to a different streamer when he left and then kind of like, oh, he's back. All right, we're back on Ninja. Like
Yeah,
I don't know. That could also just be because like people like, oh, Ninja's back, let's hop.
is he still just playing Fortnite?
No, like he
Okay,
plays a lot of different stuff now.
thank
I
God.
I think that what seems to happen with these one trick streamers, they play one game for a long time, but then eventually they'll make a shift. Like for instance, Ninja doesn't just play Fortnite anymore. He'll play Fortnite, but like I saw him playing Valorant, that game Among Us, which is kind of like Mafia. I actually bought it because it's $5, and a lot of friends like hit me up like you want to play, so I'll be playing that. But a lot of big streamers have been playing that, and they all play it together. So it's like a lot of like big name streamers like just yelling at each other. It's kind of funny. But like Nick Merckx, he was a Fortnite exclusive guy. Now he only plays Call of Duty. So I'm assuming that like if some other big game came out that was like top tier, like heavyweight, like didn't like flake out after a while, they might swap to that, and that'll become their lucrative thing. Because it's kind of crazy to assume that somebody would just only play Fortnite for like 5 years, and
Yeah,
like it wouldn't like fluctuate at all. But
yeah.
then again, you got like league streamers that literally like Tyler One does not play anything else. Like league,
But I
and he
think
consistently pulls the same viewers.
League is a little different though because there's variety within the game, whereas Fortnite, it's the gameplay looks really stagnant if as an avid Twitch viewer, right? Whereas League, they might choose a different champion, they might choose a different
Exactly.
role.
Well, there's like team compositions and it's like a sport, like that's more sport like than Fortnite is because Fortnite is pretty much the same every match.
Yeah, and but like to peel back to where we were kind of talking about like the Twitch exclusivity deals that are happening now more often. One that's kind of, and this is gonna surprise you. I'm a little surprised at Logic. So that
Mhm.
was a pretty big deal. He retired from music industry to go be a Twitch streamer.
Yeah, Twitch ran out of people to throw money at that were on their platform, like streamers that they're like, "Hey, Logic, here you go. We just want to throw money."
It was a huge,
That was like
Huge deal.
multi-million dollars. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, you would think I would love to see that contract because you would think that he would be I'm a stream every day or at least twice a week consistently.
Yeah.
But since that launch, I think I've seen him stream 2 to 3 times, and it's
Interesting.
been over a month. It was in July.
Hmm.
And recently, like early this week, he posted out saying, "Hey, Friday, I'm gonna be streaming me making beats, and you can use them free royalty, basically," which is really dope, cool.
Yeah.
And he's gonna release this mixtape of just generated beats that anybody could use. Or no, he said it was gonna be. He kept saying a date, and then he got to push it back, and then he had to push it back, and
Hmm.
then he tweeted out like the day before. He's like, "Hey, daddy, like issues. I gotta go see to my son, and I gotta move the date back again." And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, if I was Twitch right now, like I get it, parent like rules, you gotta do it, but like if this is your job and you sign this $1 million contract, Twitch doesn't care. Like you need to set dates that you can, you know, do. You need to be able to perform to your job. You signed a contract with us. I'm sure that they have expectations for him. Um, so it's probably not the big issue right now, but if it keeps happening where he streams like once every 2 weeks or something, that's not how you become a top tier Twitch streamer. Or the formula prior, that's not how you would do it. I mean, the top guys are on it every day, Monday through Friday, for the most
Yeah.
part, they have a set time that or at least they have a set schedule. With him, it's like you check his Twitter, like hope he tweets out when he's about to be on.
Well, like, I got a few things to say to this. One being, I don't know what these contracts look like. Like, I have zero insight into them. It might be public information, but I never thought to look it up based on how often they have to stream. I wonder if there is a minimum, like, oh, you're required to stream like once a month or 3 times a month or something like that. But to my understanding, I thought it was only just like you can only stream on Twitch. But obviously there's probably some other fine print. But like it is kind of funny. He's only streamed a handful of times and he hasn't gotten it. I don't know if he's gotten reached out to or what, but like I guess moving on to the next point with him like not being like a top tier streamer, that's not how you get there. Like, first of all, I've seen big streamers that like literally have the most messed up schedule. Like there was like TSM Daquan and TSM Hamlins. They both are no longer streaming anymore, which is funny. But like they would come on at the most sporadic times and like pull 30,000 viewers. And like I don't know if it was just because kids were addicted to Fortnite or what. But like Logic's more kind of like I want to interact with my fans, and he knows the fans that are gonna want to interact with him are gonna like find him. You know what I mean? They're gonna be on Twitter. They're gonna be like, okay, he's live. Let's go in there and watch him make some beats so I can use it for my stuff. You know,
Yeah,
like
like me, where I'm like curious and an avid fan of
exactly.
Logic. Like I get it and I follow him.
I think the
Yeah.
video game stuff is a bonus though. Like, I don't think like he says it's his retirement plan, but like he's made the $7 million or whatever. Like, I don't think he's really gonna be like, okay, I need to save this much in my like Twitch 401k kind of, you know what I mean? By like making this amount of money per month. Cause he's already well off. So like I think he'll kind of figure his way into a schedule. But like it is funny though, like cause I just saw him online today for the first time since like when he launched the album. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot he's on Twitch. So it's very confusing. Like, I don't get that.
Yeah, and it's my thought process is if I'm Twitch and I just paid someone like over $1 million to be on my platform, after a couple months, if they're not on it weekly, I'd be like, "Hey, I paid you $1 million.
Yeah.
Use our platform, please." So I wonder if he got that nudge. Like, I wonder if he got like something. Like that's where I would want to look at the contract because I'm just curious. Because when he said he was going to be on Twitch, I'm like, that's dope. I would love to hear his insights on gaming and see his music thought process as he makes beats. Because he said that he was going to play Last of Us. He was going to play through both of those games on Twitch, and like I have yet to see that happen. So I don't know. I mean, I get it. New parent, brand new parent, just dropped an album, but man, it's been a couple months. Like you gotta,
Shape up.
because I mean, if you're truly retired, then I guess that makes sense. But if you're planning to do this as your next career move, like, you gotta spend some time in it.
Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea what it's like, but like what you're saying makes sense. I would think that Twitch might have some sort of minimum, but like again, I don't really like. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't. They just like paid them so they couldn't just randomly go to YouTube. But it's just interesting that they chose to do this to Logic because he's not really the demographic of streamer. Like they've been pushing music though lately because I do see music on when you go to the homepage, but like they they gave a bunch of money to a dude who retired from rapping and is now a father. Like his whole schedule is gonna be weird. So like I don't know if they really were thinking about it or not, but we'll see. I am kind of interested to see these like beat making sessions though, because that is pretty cool.
But like Co Carnage, for example, has a kiddo and he makes it work. And his kiddo's pretty young still. Like he makes his schedule pretty, like
Yeah.
as if he worked a 9 to 5 job kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think that's also just like where he's different than Logic because he came from a normal job. So like he was like let me make it like that. Logic came from like something that like being in music industry, you don't have a like you're
Yeah.
always doing stuff. You know, like you don't really have a set schedule. It's just kind of free flowing. So Logic's
Yeah.
coming at it from that point where he's like, "Oh, like I can do whatever I want when I want." And I have like certain little milestones during the day that I got to be there for. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I do like how Carnage plays it because like, all right, I got my morning stream, I got my afternoon stream, I'm gonna take lunch in the middle, and he's like, I gotta sign off to go with my wife and kids, and I'm like, that's kind of dope. Like, your job is literally just to play games, and you said it like that, but
Yeah, it just makes all of us, working in IT and we're like working while we look over at his stream. We're just like, fuck,
yeah.
I wanna be there. That's what I wanna be.
I think though that if I ever was in that boat, I wouldn't set like a hard schedule though. And it was funny because I was watching Tim the Tap Man and he kind of has a loose schedule where he'll hop on at like 8 or 9 a.m. Eastern time and sometimes 10. But like one time he was hitting consistent like nines or something. But then one time he came on at 10 and everybody was like, You're late. You're late. And he's like, guys, no, I'm not late. I don't have a schedule. And they're like, you're late. He's like, shut up. You want to hear why I don't have a
Oh,
schedule?
I
Then
heard this.
he dove real deep down. He was
On
like,
his warehouse job?
yeah, he's like, I had a
Yeah.
warehouse job and I was working there for like 6 months, never late. I was a good employee, no problems. I showed up 1 minute late. He goes, okay, never mind. 2 minutes late. And he's like, first time ever. And then I clock in, I go straight to work. Boss comes over, pulls me aside. Hey, can I talk to you for a second? He's like, uh, yeah. And then he's like, what's wrong? And he's like, I don't want to see that happen again. He was like, if something happens, there's going to be repercussions. And then he was like, wait, are you serious? Like, this is my first time being late. And I was like, he was so confused. And then he basically was like, that's why I didn't set a schedule. He's like, I never wanted to have to be like called to that like kind of thing again. And I was like, okay, that's a bit extreme, but it's a really funny reason. He's like, I also thought about going back there to flex once I made it. You know what I mean? He's like, but I was like, I ain't gonna do that.
Yeah. I just like how he just said "f you" to like the chat. Like, no, f off. I'm not
But like
late.
chat also is really like unruly in some of the bigger streamers channels, so like you kind of have to just be like real with them, like no, like you guys aren't going to dictate everything, like I got my own stuff to do.
Yeah.
And he also has a kid, so they got their daily Twitch streaming, they're in the other room yelling and then come back to the fam.
What a sweet life.
Speaking of more games though, the Xbox came out
A
with their Xbox Series S. And
leaked.
the method of reveal is hilarious to me because yes, we have leaks, but then Xbox leaned into it. They just tweeted that one puppet meme where he just kind of like looks at the camera and then looks like forward like and I was like that is excellent. They didn't confirm it yet at that point, but they
No.
threw that out. And then the next day they put out the actual tweet. They were
And
like, "Let's make
they
it
even
official."
framed it like, "All right, let's do it, like,
Yeah.
let's rip the bit," like, they
They were like, it's already out there. Let's make it official."
yeah, and anytime we bring up console news, I always bring up the console war in it, but, like, they are absolutely murdering the competition when it comes to their social media game, their PR, their marketing. It is all on point, and Sony just is sitting back and being like, "I don't care."
And
Like
I think the reason why you're saying they're killing the game, I mean, they're doing a normal job. Sony is just completely absent, so it looks like they're stellar right now. Cause like
yeah,
everything they've done is like it's nothing out of the ordinary, but like everybody's kind of over here like crickets chirping on Sony's side. Like, where are you guys? You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
they're just silent. Like I would have thought that by now they played the game of chicken with Xbox, right? Like Xbox was like, "Oh, we're gonna wait to release so we can undercut you." Then they went ahead because it's literally like 2 months
Months.
away, and
Yeah.
then Sony is still over here like, "Nah." So it makes me actually believe that there might be some sort of like problem with the PlayStation, like because why
I don't
else
know
would you
why
be
else
this quiet?
I don't know why else they would be this hesitant to release this, like, very basic amount of details.
Hmm.
And meanwhile, Xbox is like, "Okay, well, what are you gonna do? Here's both versions, and here are our price points, which are" let me tell you, I mean, that I was boy, let me tell you, the the Series X, which I'm just gonna call it that because I know how you feel about the naming system. Series X and the S were announced and confirmed.
Hmm.
And so we're looking at the S, which is a smaller model that looks like a little boombox.
Bro, let me pull up some memes while you're talking.
Yeah. um so they what was it, 399 for the Series S
Yep.
and then 499 for the Series X.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And they come out November 13th
Yeah.
at the same time, right?
Yep.
Nope. Future Taylor here, guys. Gibbs just brought it to my attention that we botched this information after correcting ourselves for botching information from last week's episode. The Xbox Series S releases at $299 alongside the Xbox Series X, which is still $499 on November 10th. Sorry for the confusion. Gibbs, come on, man, give me a break. Cool.
And to me, I'm like, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
They even said the Series S should be, I mean, not that far off from the Series X. Like, it's not
Well, all
that
right,
big of a
here,
step
let me
down.
just say that the main difference, it seemed like they said it has like all the same kind of architecture and things. Like there might be a couple little knockdowns, but they're like it targets 1440p 120 instead of 4K.
Yeah.
And it still upscales to 4K on your system. So I feel like to the average consumer, they don't care about the 4K native. They're just like, "Oh, it's $200 cheaper, bang bang." So like
Affordable.
this is where it's like, okay, this is going to probably sell way better than the Xbox Series X because of the price point and its value. Plus, you can get the Xbox All Access like payment plan where you get it like it's like I don't know, 30 some dollars a month and you get uh Game Pass bundled X or Game Pass Ultimate, I'm pretty sure bundled with it. So you get your online and you get your games. Now that's going to be just like revolutionary, I feel like, for people that are like, oh, like it's hard to afford a console. Because I don't really think Sony has that like payment plan like on its own side that would especially also bundle in their online service. But
Yeah, all they have is the digital console, which even then it's not that much
and
cheaper.
it's we don't know how much cheaper it
Well,
is.
yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, like it's gonna be cheaper, but like we have no idea yet. So
I bet it's
anyway,
like 50 to like, I don't know, dude. They
let's
just need to
talk
tell
about
us.
this console's look though, because we got the Xbox Series X refrigerator, and now we got multiple things on this. We got a drive-through uh order taker speaker thing. Like I got this pulled up. It like the what is this circle thing on the side? Like yeah, I know it's a vent. It's where the exhaust is or whatever, probably. But like, why is it there? Why is it a different color? Like that
So
is
we talk
literally
about it.
ugly. Is it are we going into memes meme marketing the same way that uh what's his name? Elon did with the Cybertruck? Like,
I think
I'm
so.
not
I don't know
I'm
why else
not
they would do
feeling that.
this.
I'm not feeling that. As much as I love memes, I don't want your product to be designed for the intention of being memeable. Because we still gotta put that thing after the memes are through in our homes.
But to be honest, like let's be real. It isn't that ugly though.
Oh, yeah, it's not.
So
It's like
like,
its weirdness is definitely less weird than the PS5. Like, this is a pretty safe design, but, like, it's a white little rectangle, like a box, and then they were just like, "You know what? It needs something. It
circle.
needs a circle."
It
Like, and then we got
needs to
people
be a
saying
front
it's a
load
boom
washer.
box, holding it up above the head.
The say anything style.
Yep. And then we got the washing machine, which is my personal favorite because it does look like a front loading washing machine, but then somebody put it in tandem with the refrigerator. And this is where we've reached peak memery. Whoever
Top
made this, I'll link their tweet in the what's it called in the description. But they put the fridge in the kitchen in an old meme, but then somebody put the little washing machine next to it. Like, I'm pretty sure a lot more houses in England have their washing machine in the kitchen because they're like,
which is so weird, by the way. Fix your
it's
shit.
weird to Americans, but also it's like it saves plumbing because water's already going to the kitchen. And like the bathrooms are smaller, so like put it in the kitchen. I've also seen some apartments in Chicago that have it. I did think it was weird, but the thing is, the ones that usually have it, they have the 2-in-1 that has the washer dryer combo. So it basically just looks like another dishwasher.
So wait, hold on. That's kind of cool though. If it's 2 in 1, because you could just hit like
Your
go and
face? You like, did you know those were a thing?
I did not know that was a thing.
That's great. We just confirmed to Keegan live that there are 2-in-1 washing dryer machines.
How does that
I don't
work? So
know how
like you
well they work, and I'm
okay,
pretty sure it takes a little bit longer because of course it has to like drain the
drain.
water and then start the thing. And you also know how like when you go to the washer after clothes are spin cycled, they're like plastered to the
Yeah, they're
to
like,
the inside of the container. So like I don't know if it's like got some sort of agitator that like removes the clothing from the
well,
side because if you just start drying it, they're just gonna dry in the circle.
my thing is if you have too much water, if water gets into your dryer, normally it can break your dryer. So
Well,
like,
obviously they thought of some sort of way to.
yeah, and I'm wondering, can you just like hit a full cycle, or do you
Yeah.
have to like go and then put the dryer sheet in and then activate the like?
Well, actually, that's since I don't have one, that could be a thing where you do have to manually go in and then like move the clothes. Maybe like you have to like cycle
Yeah,
them in because you're gonna want to put a dryer sheet in there because you're not gonna put that in while it's
dude,
wet.
I'll say one thing. I've lived with people where they don't use dryer sheets,
Yeah, I mean I
and
have too,
I was baffled. I was shook. I
but
was like, "What do you mean?"
they don't have like static as much because if their shit was clinging to them, like they would start like or maybe somebody just doesn't care, but like I used them because of the static, not for the fabric softening effect. And then they made liquid fabric softener. So then, like, if you don't get the static from your dryer, like if your dryer doesn't do that, or maybe you live in a less staticky area, I don't know, because like it is kind of location based sometimes, but then you wouldn't need one.
Well, here's my thing. I just thought it was like you had to put it like you do your laundry, you just put a dryer sheet in. I didn't really think about like what a dryer sheet does for you so much. So I was just always like, you just need a dryer sheet. And then when I met somebody that's like, I can't use dryer sheets, like he was like allergic to it, I think, or something
Oh,
like that.
wait, no, hold on though. I had a breakout from one once, but it was from like a crappy off brand one. Like I don't know what the difference in the chemicals used or whatever, but like I put one in once and I had like hives for the day. I was like, I thought I had some sort of other thing. I was like, why am I so itchy? Then I realized that it was only around my clothesline. Like it was like hives, 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 stopped at the sleeve. And I was like, oh. I took my shirt off and then I was like, it went away after a bit. But then I was like, it must have been the thing I did the laundry with. So I only use like name brand stuff because I haven't had a reaction to any of those.
Anyways, enough about laundry. Like,
Xbox Series X is a washing machine. but it's lit. Or
Okay,
Series S. Did I say X? XS, whatever. They're all the same. They're boxing.
Xbox. Can we talk about Avengers now? Because I'm like itching. I'm like moving in my seat. I'm ready to dive into
I was
Marvel's
gonna
Avengers.
say dive where? All right,
Um,
hit me with your thoughts because I got my own, and
okay.
it's interesting.
Overall, I'm disappointed.
Damn, there it
Yeah.
is.
I don't think it's a bad game. I think it has great potential, which sounds like a cop out, to be
It
honest.
does a little
But
bit, but let me hear it.
but overall, without getting like into spoilers or anything, I think the story is great.
Okay.
But the fact that the story is so short is its downfall.
Oh, okay. Because it's only like 12, 13 hours if you were to play it straight through.
And you can grind it out even before then. I
Yeah.
got there before I even had like some of my characters to level 5.
Really?
And yeah, power level, I don't remember what they're at,
Yeah.
but not high. Like not compared to what you can get your heroes to.
Yeah.
Um and that's what I found frustrating because what it tells me is that they reached a point with their story that they're like, all right, it's good. We don't need to spend much more. And then they focused elsewhere. When in my mind, I think it's the best part of the game, and it feels like it took a back seat like halfway through.
Hmm.
And then it gets and in my mind, the very end, the last mission felt like shit. It was so easy. It felt like they were just focusing towards end game and multiplayer because they know that's where microtransactions usually occur, and then they wanted people to go to it. But the story was so good up to that point, and I was in it, and then I was kind of disappointed how short it was. Once it said, "Hey, this is the final mission," I was like, "How?" I've barely leveled up my heroes,
Yeah.
and I get to the final boss battle, and I'm literally able to just spam one attack and hit him while I'm at the ground, and it's over. That phase is over. Next phase, do the same rhythm again. It's over. And then I'm not fully understanding his like how to avoid his attacks, but it doesn't matter because I got him down easily.
Yeah.
And then so granted, that's out in the open, and that's how I feel about it. But I genuinely was disappointed because I thought this game was gonna tap into a lot more information and a lot more lore than it actually did. It just dipped its toe in, dipped it out, and was like, "Hey, we got multiplayer. Hey, we got tons of side missions. Hey, you you can change all the equipment, but guess what? None of the cosmetics actually change."
Hmm.
Um, so I feel like they were here's another thing. I think it's they obviously it takes years to make a game,
Yeah.
and they're like, "We want a Destiny 2, but Marvel."
Which
And
it definitely feels like that.
I think they just overextended where they were drawing inspiration from. And they focused a little too hard, but, like, also, I maybe just missed the point of what Destiny 2 offers and why it's so successful is because their equipment matters. In this game, your equipment does not mean shit. The RPG element of building out your superheroes during the campaign doesn't mean anything. It's all for the multiplayer. So,
Okay.
when you're playing this game, if you're a viewer and you just bought the game, don't overthink it. It literally doesn't matter. You can go through this entire campaign and none of your equipment really does that much.
Let me preface that by saying it's supposed to matter in the sense that they give you leveled enemies, they show you your power level, and they advise you to match it or to, build stuff up. But you don't see those effects. And you played on hard, right?
I'm about to get to that
Okay,
point.
because I'm playing on hard, and so far it hasn't like I literally don't pay attention to the power level. I just auto equip the better shit and then like hope.
I was playing on hard. Halfway through, I'm like, am I even getting better gear or am I getting like is there a benefit of playing on hard?
Hmm.
And I looked into it. No, there's you get the same amount of drops during the campaign as you were if you were playing on normal.
But is like the challenge level more rewarding than normal on like just your campaign playthrough? Because like that's why I went for hard. I didn't go for the better loot because I didn't really care about that. I just went because like I didn't want the game to be too easy.
Okay, fair. And I felt it was more enjoyable to go down in difficulty to normal
Hmm.
once I found out that hard doesn't offer me any like actual loot based reward.
Okay.
because I felt the game on hard was annoying. It wasn't challenging to be challenging. It was like just it's the same way Doom Eternal was pissing me off because they don't really the difficulty spike is just throwing more enemies at you with heavier health. And in this game, the enemies are broken in my opinion. There's some enemies that just have a broken system about them.
I
And in
agree.
this game, when you go up in difficulty, it's not so much that your like hero is easier or more, vulnerable. It's just that they throw more. It's the same level. They just throw more enemies at it and hope that it's more difficult. So I felt like the difficulty spike was really annoying at times. And like, let's say you're on hard and you're playing as one hero for a few missions, but then you get the new hero in the campaign. That new hero's weak, and you're playing on this really hard difficulty, and then all of a sudden you're stuck at the beginning of that person's like hero journey because you can't get past the first mission you have with them, and it's infuriating. So I just like halfway through, and that's probably why I was able to cruise through the campaign and get to the end. But I would still probably beat him this week either way on hard. But that's why I lowered it. I mean, I think the hard difficulty is definitely hard, but like I was also like not enjoying the game as much anymore. Like
Yeah.
it challenging left the door, and it was just difficulty spikes. Like, I'll get in a rhythm, and then all of a sudden, there's just one broken area that has 2 or 3 of the broken enemy, and then all of a sudden, I hate the game for a while. Like, um, and so that's why it wasn't as rewarding. Like, if I think if maybe if the loot was better, it might feel more rewarding, and maybe I would've stuck it out, but I don't know. So, and to kinda, like, full circle it, without, spoiling the game or anything, but, um I genuinely the reason why I'm, like, in the middle about this game is I was disappointed because that they announced that there's gonna be free updates, and it's gonna be new characters and new story that's gonna be added as you go. So, I can't fully give this a negative score because I think this can be a great game. But for a $60 game, AAA platform, huge hype, they really didn't give you much to chew on. If you're like me, where you want more story, and I personally hate Destiny 2's grind, and I get the multiplayer I haven't really played yet, and I haven't played a ton of the side missions, but as villains go, there's not a ton in this game. You don't face that many bosses, you face enemy types. And they do that because they need enemy types that they can spam in the side missions and online. So to me, that's just lazy on their end, where they could have spent more time developing more story around these sub bosses for the future. So I'm hoping, my hope is that the potential rewards me in the end because the next maybe 2, 3 DLCs release these amazing missions and story, right?
Mhm.
So
Do you know, did they say that DLCs are gonna be free?
they have said that.
Okay, so that's good. Because basically, like, all right, let me ask you this. Do you recommend the game? And I'm talking about at this current moment, not with the whole potential future DLCs. Like, would you tell someone to get this?
If you are an avid if you are a fan of Marvel and you're a fan of the comics and you're itching for a new game, yes. But if you are just like expecting this to be a grand journey that could take you a couple weeks to chew on, no. I wouldn't recommend the game. But if you're okay with spending $60 for a 10 to 12-hour really good story and gameplay, great. But I cannot support or recommend the multiplayer or grind after the game because I personally don't know if I'll actually play it now. But hey, if you like Destiny 2 because of grind, then I guess you're a weird gamer and you want to play something like this.
But
Great.
this grind doesn't feel satisfying.
This grind doesn't, yeah, it's not the
It's
same.
even worse.
Don't go into it thinking it's the exact same as Destiny 2's grind because it isn't. Like this grind won't carry you into the DLC well. Like
Yeah. All right, so I'll get my quick thoughts on it because you touched on a lot of things that I agree with, and like I haven't finished the game yet, so like I'm just coming at it from what I see so far. Um, I'm confused by this game because like you said, is dipping its toe into the MMO like style and the RPG elements. And while playing a single player game that has cool cinematics, like it has that nice like solid story feel. Like it doesn't feel just like some crap where like two characters are just mouth moving at each other. Like they put the time in for the lip sync and all that. Like it looks pretty solid. For that to all of a sudden now I go to like a home base by myself for one. Like it's not a live world, which is what's weird. And I talk to these NPCs to get stuff. It just feels empty and weird. And then I go to the mission table, the war table they call it, and like I see the story missions, but then I see like these side missions, and like when I go to them, they don't have stories. They just have someone give you a tiny briefing, and then you go beat some shit up, and then mission over, we're back to the ship. I was like, "Oh, okay, so they don't have like any sort of like cool thing to get out of that. That's just all gear like. So that's the grind of it. But then they have like those other missions, like chains that I haven't tried yet because it's like, okay, it says it's a chain. I don't know how many missions are in that. I don't want to start like 10 missions that are extraneous from the story. You know what I mean? Cuz like I don't, and it's also like based on each hero. So I'm like, "Oh, am I just going to be by myself?" Like I just don't know where to go, so I just keep hitting the story missions. So like it is gonna be short to me because I'm not really like, the side missions aren't, like, natural in the sense that, like, you are exploring and you find them. That's what happens in an RPG. You kinda just, like, explore side missions. In this game, it's like, "Oh, I wanna sign up for this extra task," and I don't really care for that. Now the combat is fun. I enjoy Hulk beating crap up. You can grab people and just like swing them around as weapons, and that's fun. Iron Man took some getting used to me because you don't like move with him normally. You literally are always flying, so like that was interesting. But I enjoy the combat. But another big problem for me on PC, this game, it's like they forgot to optimize it. It's literally Crash City, Frame Drop City. It's all over. I don't understand because the beta came out, people had their problems, they voiced them. Square Enix said they were going to try to fix it. Um, or is Crystal Dynamics is the one that I think
And it
Square Enix
well,
is the publisher, right?
yeah.
Okay. Well, they said they were going to fix it, and I was like, okay, cool, because I don't want to deal with that kind of crap on launch. This game's recommended specs are much lower than what you actually should have. Because I had an i7 7700K and a 1080, and I wasn't even hitting 60 FPS on medium. What is that? Medium is like console level settings usually. And I'm like, okay, so this must be locked at 30 on console because if they're trying to shoot for 60, they're not going to hit it because I I got this game for free. I originally bought it for $60. I'm glad I refunded it because I saw there was a promotion that if you get an i9 or a ninth gen or 10th gen Intel CPU, you get the game for free. And I was like, oh, well, then I'll just upgrade my PC. And I got that with the motherboard and I got the game for free. And even with that upgrade, I have an i9 9900K now. And it's like I got an extra 10 frames from putting it in, but I like I'll be sitting at like 70 and then it'll drop down to like 50 some, and 50 some is okay when because I have G-Sync, I don't really notice it. But then randomly, I'll be getting 20. And like it's not when the screen is cluttered, I'm literally like walking around or something, or like one enemy's there and I just punch him 20 frames. Like it's very jarring. So like I hope that they do some fixes with that cuz the optimization is not ideal. But
Yeah.
like, again, yeah, the loot isn't great. I don't really pay too much attention to it. The fact that you can't change the look of your character with your loot, skins are separate, and the skins feel very kind of like thrown in. Like they don't they're not great. And plus the legendary ones are like funny legendaries. And they carry into cutscenes. So I don't want Hulk in a pinstripe mafia suit with a fedora in a serious like part of the story. Like I and also like Mrs. Marvel or Miss Marvel, she has, like her like mask and stuff and her cape, and I put that on and I was like, "Oh, this goes into cutscenes." But then I couldn't change it off because I didn't have her character. So, like, she just was permanently like that when she was, like, crying, and I was like, she's just in a full get up, just, like, bawling. I'm like, "This is weird," and I had to wait till I got her back to change it. So, yeah,
Yeah.
weird nuances like that.
It feels like they overextended. They tried to be too many things in one
Mhm.
game where if they would have just stuck to a story driven, game like this, it could have been really huge and replayable for one.
Like a Spider-Man, the PS4 Spider-Man. That's what they
Yes.
should have done. Because even though that open world is a little bit overdone, it would have been more welcome than like, "Okay, let's do 20% of like a MMORPG style game." Like,
Yeah. Once you get into the world, you don't level up characters even though they're companions with you. Even though they're there beating guys up, they don't level up,
which is kinda dumb.
which is dumb. You can't switch to anybody in the party like a normal party based like would be,
Yeah, I guess at that point, it would just be third person MUA.
which is kind of what everyone wants.
I
So
guess, like, honestly, if they would've structured it kinda like that, maybe it would've been alright,
you can build a stat base
but,
like,
like,
oh,
I didn't
Hulk.
really care for MUA because I also did feel like their stats and stuff were just kinda it wasn't extraneous in the sense that this is, but, like, I didn't feel, like, drawn to it. Like, I didn't really care. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but at least with that is it was more RPG based where you could have really cool party like
Yeah,
combinations.
and that's where
And in
it gets
this
fun, yeah.
the story's so short, by the time you get anything figured out, you're already done with the campaign.
Yeah. So yeah, like you said, there's free DLC on the way. Maybe we can hop back in. I think I'll try to beat the game just so I can be ready for extra stuff to give it a chance. But like I can't recommend the game. I got it for free and I'm glad I got it for free. I did have to buy expensive parts, but like I was already thinking about doing that stuff. But like I cannot recommend it and I don't anticipate they're going to make this multiplayer any sort of like stellar thing because like what makes that sort of stuff fun is when you do like coordinated things. I think I said it before when we were anticipating the game. You need coordinated like boss fights and like raid like activities or dungeon like activities. But what it seems like the multiplayer is going to be is everybody loads in and just beats the shit out of whatever's near them.
And here's the thing, how far are you, by the way?
I
Like,
played it for like 10 hours, so I'm probably because I'm also like not blowing through it. I was doing other stuff. I'm probably halfway.
so you faced Abomination, right?
Yeah.
Okay, here's my issue. You can't make boss battles where it's just an enemy type. Because, like, those boss battles where it's like Abomination or in the very, very beginning of the game, Taskmaster, that's not spoilers, that they've been all over the trailers.
Mhm.
Those are the only real villain bosses. The
Yeah.
only lore-based, like, villains brought from the comics out. And like like, what are you doing? Like, you have such a huge universe.
Yeah.
Like, how is that it?
I don't know.
Anyways, they leave it off like the after the credits scenes that they have, they leave it for um there's 2 of them. They leave it for the expansions and to continue, and I really hope that they put more effort into.
Well, here, let me say one thing that'll like maybe give you a little bit more hope. Destiny, when it originally launched in 2014, its story was trash. Like
Oh, I know,
it
that's why I
ended
didn't like the
early,
series.
it didn't really do anything. People hated it. And then the end game shaped up to be good. But that game's also still living, breathing. Like they really went hard on that, I feel like. And there had its ups and downs, but then it released really good DLCs. I don't see that happening to the same extent here, where like we have like major launches with like, again, a living, breathing world. I feel like that's what's missing. But they might come out with some cool extra story stuff and cool boss battles, and maybe they'll learn from the main game being a little bit lackluster.
I swear if the free updates and new DLCs just bring in new heroes and you just do the same multiplayer shit and doesn't actually add anything to the game,
We're not playing.
I'm not playing it.
Yep.
And that's big because I'm a huge Marvel fan. Like this should be my next game. this should carry me. But now I'm kind of happy because I don't really want to
Baldur's
play it
Gate
anymore. I
3.
beat it and I can play other games now.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, or we can play Halo.
Yeah, we should probably do that. But let's talk about a game that I just like sort of like just threw in the cart and purchased, and it is nice. The Tony Hawk Pro Skater remake is nice. Like, let me just say that it is good. I played the originals when I was a kid. I played 2 and 3 because I was like too young for 1. Like, it was on PS1 and I didn't play that really. My dad didn't buy it, but the upgrades to like the new graphics and everything, it just feels smooth. It runs well, and it's literally such a blast from the past. Like, with the fact that it's only $40 too, like the 2 games are very short in the fact that like you could probably beat each one in like 6 hours. But then they have like the free skate and you can level up your skaters. To be honest, I actually enjoyed the skater progression and the, I'm gonna use air quotes, RPG elements of that game more than Avengers. Because you can like buy clothing for them after you do challenges and you get currency. Like, that's a more entertaining cycle than Avengers is, because I'll
Yeah.
go in, I'll do my tricks, I'll do my combos, I'll collect skate, all the nostalgia. But then, like, now I got money, I can go customize my skater, or you can unlock more pro skaters. Like, even Jack Black is in the game as Dr. Dick.
I
So,
wanna I wanna no, it's Officer Dick.
Officer Dick, yeah. I don't know why I said
I wanna
doctor.
I wanna I really wanna play it just to get him unlocked.
Yeah. But like it's good fun. I enjoyed it. Like I've probably played it for like 4 hours, 5 hours so far, and then I started playing Avengers, but like I think I'm probably going to be playing this more than Avengers just because it's good fun. And
I'm done playing Avengers. I'm gonna probably play I don't know. I'm
Tony
gonna have to look at
Hawk,
my
get
queue.
it. Dude, Tony Hawk would be the perfect thing to carry you over until
September
Baldur's
30th.
Gate. Yeah. Cuz like you'll beat both of them probably before then, and then you'll just kind of hop back to it occasionally when you just feel like playing a skating game.
That's true. That's true.
Plus
Yeah,
$40. It's like it's too easy.
it's why not? It's too easy.
It's too easy.
Ubisoft Forward, another this is just a games day, man. This is a games week,
I
but
mean, dude,
we
we
thought
love games.
yeah, we thought that Ubisoft Forward was gonna be a big deal, so we pushed back our podcast.
Okay, hold on. Don't say that. I didn't think it was gonna be a big deal. I thought it might have something, but I was also excited to roast it in the very likely event that it had nothing.
And we're sitting here and it's like
It had nothing.
it had I
But
mean, okay, I can't say nothing. I mean, it definitely had Prince of Persia, Sands of Time,
but Prince of Persia, another remake. Like, all right. They should
yeah,
have just made an original game at this point. Because like
they should. They should just make a new one.
exactly. No, no, no,
Because
no.
guess what?
Yeah, I shouldn't have said an original game, an original Prince of Persia entry.
Because here's the thing. They could definitely do like a restart, a
So
reboot.
much.
And the next generation probably doesn't even know this game series.
I never played the original, but like I get when you limit yourself to like, okay, we're gonna remake a game that old, and it's not like a reimagination so much, like as like Ratchet and Clank reimagined the first one. So like if you hadn't played that one, this one was kind of loosely based on it. But this one, like it, I don't know if it's gonna be like that, but like when I saw the gameplay, I was kind of like, okay, this isn't really like that big of a
It
whatever.
doesn't even look good.
That's what I'm saying.
Like Tony Hawk, when it was like, oh, we're
It
like
looks
it
lifelike, dude. It's
looks
like
wild.
really nice. But yeah,
But
I'm
then
not
Sands of
excited.
Time comes out and it's like you have to remember that this game when it came out, it was earth-shattering different
Mhm.
because of wall running. Like that wasn't in games and then Sands of Time came out and we're like, "Yo, we wall run," and it was cool. Everything else about the game, old game mechanics. So,
Yeah.
like, when this comes out, it's gonna flop, I think. And then what else do we have? It's Scott Pilgrim versus the World, game. That's cool. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, I
so
didn't
I didn't really look at this trailer, but like is it supposed to be like a sequel to the original one? Because they had a Scott Pilgrim game before. Or was it just like a small thing?
I can't remember because when I looked at it, I'm like, I just went, "Oh, cool," assuming it'll be a sequel, but, this is the year of remakes, so and then what was the writer's game? Like, What even?
I don't even remember that game. What is that? Phoenix?
It was when they were
Is it
all, like,
Phoenix something?
snowboarding and, like,
Oh, that
and
one.
bicycling down the
That
hill.
actually was the most entertaining thing to me because, like, it was basically like trying to scratch that SSX itch that everybody always seems to have, but then they tossed in like, oh, it has mountain biking and other like extreme sports. And I was like, oh, like I would try that out on sale. You know what I mean? Like I'm not buying that for $60, but like that could be
Yeah, but
fun.
EA did that not too long ago, and it, like,
Yeah,
flopped
it was
hard.
I forgot what it was called, but that didn't do so great. But why are the 2 most hate I shouldn't say most hated, EA is the most hated, but Ubisoft ain't doing so
It's up
great
there.
either. But the 2 companies that don't really have the best track record are the ones trying to handle that. I feel like we should get someone else on that.
Yeah, I don't know, but if you have that itch, I just have the Xbox original, I just pop in the original game, I have it
Yeah,
for that
that's
snowboarding,
fair.
it's so
But
good.
again, like, people want original content, and
I
they're
know.
trying, but
They're trying, and
it's
it's the wrong companies.
then there's another game, I can't even remember the name of it, I think it was Phoenix something, but it's like Ubisoft's trying to make their version of Breath of the Wild. Like
Yeah, I had the same feeling too.
yeah, I mean, it's not a direct rip off the same way that one, like, anime style game, Genshin Impact, is literally, like, cookie cutter, like, but anyway, um, it's definitely, like, the cell shaded graphics or the cartoony look and the
Yeah.
open world and the RPG elements like that, so
I will say the one thing out of it, the trailer for Sam Fisher and his, like, um, release into the next Rainbow Six Siege, like,
mhm,
season, I love the art style of that, like, that anime that they
yeah.
did for that, and all I was thinking is, like, they need to have a show. Like,
Dude, there's so many
so
like,
many of
we've
that.
talked about it before with, like, how Overwatch and their shorts, like,
Yeah,
they could be making, like, regular content out of that stuff, and people would eat it up. But, like, that is a
100%.
ton of work, like, making those five-minute shorts doesn't it's not easy, and
Yeah,
they also have to make their other things, so, like, I don't know. But, for instance,
that's
Cyberpunk, they got an anime coming out, they're doing it. So, like, maybe they'll start a trend.
Netflix said, "Yeet."
Yeah, let's get on it. But,
Yeah, buddy.
then we got some news coming up next week. The Apple event is on the 15th. Uh, iPhones, iPads, watches usually is the formula. So we'll be coming at you with some news and maybe my verdict on if I'm gonna buy an iPhone 12 or not. If it's trash, if
Maybe you
it's
should switch
good.
over to Pixel.
I don't want a Pixel. I've seen the Pixel 5 specs, or no, I saw the Pixel 4a, but I
Yeah,
I use a Pixel at work for testing, and I don't miss Android's interface
yeah,
right
that's
now.
fair.
That could change, but I don't miss it. So,
Can one thing about the Apple event coming up, how ugly is that logo, though?
so I looked it up, and I was kind of just like, I don't know if it's really that ugly, but it looks like somebody twirled some ribbon or some spaghetti noodle into the Apple logo. Like
Like, for a brief second, almost doesn't look like the Apple logo. Like,
it
I don't like,
doesn't.
what am I looking
I'm confused.
what?
I said it doesn't look like the logo. I'm confused.
Yeah, I don't get it. I
You
don't
got
know.
so confused you didn't even hear what I said. You're like,
I
"What? It doesn't look like the Apple logo?"
It doesn't.
No, you just said that, and I
I was
agreed.
surprised you agreed with me, I guess. You
I
let me rephrase that. I
There it
roasted
is.
Apple and you agreed with me, and I was like, "What? Hold on."
'Cause you genuinely looked so confused. You were like, "What?" Like, you said it, Keegan. I'm agreeing.
It happens so rarely, I don't, especially with Apple opinions.
Well, I'm there roasting Apple too all the time. They make weird, stupid decisions, but, like, I like their products sometimes.
Yeah.
So
Well, they're gonna release an expensive ass phone this fall, so,
yeah,
we'll
I
cover that
really
next
hope
episode.
okay, this is what I'm gonna leave y'all with, and I'm hoping that it's the same way. You know how we've been leaks all over it, and everybody's been complaining, and everybody's always thinking they're right, and, like, almost every year that the fucking leaks for the iPhone are, like, right on, like, as far as how they look. NVIDIA just, like, showed their cards off, and nobody really knew what they looked like. There was one leak that showed, like, the shape, but nobody got the fact that it had some weird fan setup. They also got the price way off. I'm
Yeah.
hoping that everybody's like, oh, it's some analyst that has a good track record guessed it. Like, I hope that when they're saying that they're going to be like, way more expensive, that they're incorrect, and maybe they're like slightly more because of the whole 5G. But like, again, 5G isn't really a thing yet, so like, I don't think they should be charging an extra $100 just for 5G. I mean, it could happen, but I'm hoping that the leaks are wrong. That's what I want to leave it with. I might eat my words, put my foot in my mouth. We'll boot up next episode right away. Welcome back. You're ready to, and then we'll say our names, and I'll be like, I was right or wrong. So,
But if you're liking the podcast, tune in next week to hear Taylor how wrong he is about the Apple predictions. We'll
no
be doing
faith.
it again this time next week, next Sunday. We hope you guys are liking the show. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Let us know how it's going. Comment on here. We've gotten a couple comments the last couple videos. It's been fun. We appreciate it. Join our Discord.
Yeah, we got a buddy in there. We be hanging out in Discord now. I'm
Yeah,
in there.
we're
I'm in
always in.
there.
We're in there all the time. You can just come in and say hey. So please like and follow us. Recommend us to your friends. We would appreciate it. Join our Discord, and as always, keep gaming, keep having fun, keep staying positive.
We'll catch you in the next one.
Later, guys.